Hello, I'm Mark McIntyre, media host for the Charles Cole for Assembly campaign. Welcome back. Today we begin a three-part series of a conversation between Charles Cole, candidate for the 37th Assembly District, and Mr. George Miller, who is the publisher of the Citizens Journal in Ventura County. Today they're going to drill down in segment one on two things. House Resolution 6666, yes, I know, and Assembly Bill, State Assembly Bill 262. And these bills work together to threaten and endanger the constitutional freedoms which the Cole campaign is running to protect. And so now let's join the conversation already in progress. Enjoy.
I just wanted to get your opinions, just flat opinions on House Bill 6666 and AB 262.
Okay, well, first of all, it's questionable to me whether 666 is even constitutional, because a lot of those things it pokes into really are state affairs. Now, a case could be made for the fact that since the pandemic is from the outside and since it affects all states and interstate commerce, that maybe the federal government couldn't get involved in a coordinating role. They're funding an enormous amount of money if that passes, $100 billion. I thought I was misreading it, and there were 3 extra zeros in there when I saw it, but so there aren't. And there's all kinds of hysterical claims on the net right now through the blog sphere that it's doing all kinds of things. It's tearing children away from their families and all that. Interestingly, the bill doesn't say any of that. It just has very general terminology about testing and things like that. However, it could be used badly because there are no constraints in the bill. There are no restrictions whatsoever. There's no accountability. There's no oversight, and there's no penalties for failing to abide with the terms of the bill. So that money in the hands of activist states could be used very badly. We've already heard stories about online apps on your phone that will track you, chips in bodies. The databases that would be there permanently with no recourse as to privacy and how that information would be used. So in a nightmare scenario, you could try to go into a store to buy some food, and they could tell you, well, because your wife tested positive 2 years ago, you can't come in here and buy any food. Well, that's crazy. And all those things are possible with the bill, although they're not explicitly stated in it. Now, when you combine the bill 6666 with Assembly Bill 262, it gets really sinister because there's a sentence in AB 262, and I'm going to paraphrase it, that says that the health officer can use any and all steps that he deems necessary, it was probably sexually neutral in the bill, but I don't remember the exact wording, to ensure of health. So Adolf Hitler didn't have that much power conferred to him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he didn't have anywhere near that kind of power.
Exactly. So that's very scary. That's a very ominous bill. And when you couple that with HR 6666, which provide virtually unlimited funding to do that. And by the way, there's no sunset on the bill. It envisions renewing every year as long as there's, quote, an emergency. Now emergency, that's another term. There are some emergencies that are still in effect from World War II that they vote every year to continue because it gives them power to do various things.
At this point, they could just claim that this is an emergency, even if it's completely over, and still claim it.
So they could. It doesn't even say which emergency. It doesn't say the COVID emergency. It says state of emergency. It's very vague, and it refers to other bills to look at it, so it's dependent upon the language of other bills. Whenever you have a bill which is derivative on other bills, and you don't control the relationship of those bills, that allows still more room for chicanery. And that's what's happening, I think, with this one.
Right. As Mr. Levin, or Levin or Levin?
It's Levin.
Levin, sorry. I know a lot of Levins and Levins, so I'm get confused on that one. But based off of what he said about 262 and the actual claiming of it's an emergency, considering he is part of Ventura County Supervisor's Health Board, what do you think this has anything to do with the Ventura County supervisors of any kind or something like?
It's a very interesting question. I've sat through multiple meetings where different health officials got up and articulated their beliefs and gave orders and all that. And I don't recall seeing any votes by the supervisors on these things. It's almost as if they just stood back and let Levin do this on his own. I even heard someone say that he doesn't report to the Board of Supervisors. Well, if you look at an organization chart, that's absolutely false.
Yeah. I looked at the
If you've
chart.
ever looked at the organization chart, is a health bureaucrat buried 4 levels down in the organization chart. He reports to a manager who reports to a subdirector, reports to the health department director, who in turn reports directly to Supervisor Mike Powers.
Mhm.
So what we've done is they, in effect, delegate the responsibility down 4 levels in the bureaucracy and wash the hands of any direct responsibility for the outcome.
Wow.
Right.
That's a little bit, yeah. That's not accountability to the people. Now, I do not think that Dr. Levin's a bad man. I have interviewed him and talked to him multiple times. He's actually a fine man. He's a specialist in infectious diseases, but he's following the state orders to a letter, in some cases even more severe. When I walked into my local Rite Aid store, which was open, and found 4 aisles closed, only enhancing our safety, not to be able to buy a get well card for my friend who just died of COVID, by the way.
Oh, geez.
Jersey.
Really? That's
Crazy, right? And then you might have seen the picture in the Citizens Journal of the 2 county mounted officers rousting a 93-year-old couple from Hollywood Beach 3 weeks ago.
no way. Oh,
The beach is
that's ridiculous.
never get crowded there. I mean, you're safer sitting on that beach than you are in a Costco or a Walmart or something like that. So
Oh, you know that. You know that for sure.
Crazy. They've just gone nuts. So we've exerted a lot of pressure on the county. They're not strongly enforcing the beach rule. I was out yesterday. We walked for 2 hours on the beach. There were people out there with blankets and everything, and I didn't see anyone getting tickets. And Mike Powers told me Friday night that the rule to have aisles closed in stores has been dropped. So that's good. They're showing some responsiveness.
Yeah, that's fantastic on that end. Maybe
Right.
we can actually start
We've held demonstrations at the county government center for weeks on end, demanding that they open up the businesses. And
Yeah, I've been going to those for the past 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm going to keep going. I'm going there Tuesday morning for the Board of Supervisors meeting.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, they won't let you speak, so you'll have to barge your way in.
I just think it's ridiculous that they're not having any public comment on these things. They're deciding.
Actually, they're supposed to read the public comments. Now, the day I put public comments in, they did not read it. When I read the fine print, it said public comments will be read if there is sufficient time. But the bureaucrats took up all the time, I guess.
Yeah, what do you call sufficient time? They could just say, oh, we don't have time for it. Whoops, oh well. Pass off all the comments. Another issue. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
They read some comments last week. I have several friends whose comments were read, but for whatever reason, they didn't read them all. And they didn't even read them in the order that they were logged in.
Is that a violation of the Brown Act, in your opinion?
That's a good question. You know, the Brown Act says that people should be able to go to a meeting and speak. Now, that has to overlap with this emergency situation where they can't come and speak because it's closed. So they opened up the comments to people in Oxnard, for example, by telephone. And the Ventura County Board of Supervisors has always had the written comments. They get attached to the agenda. As far as I know, this is the first time they've committed to reading them. I don't know if it's a violation or not. A case could be made for that, though, sir.
Case can be made. Maybe that should be looked at for sure.
I would think so. And, you know, some government bodies have taken this time to enact some really stupid things because they can get away with it because public surveillance is lower right now than it normally is. A lot of people don't even know that meetings are being held, and those that are don't find an easy way to make their voices heard at those meetings.
Yeah. Absolutely, that's ridiculous. Another point on Bill 262. I was going over it, and I'm directly seeing infringements on the First Amendment that
Virtually unlimited power, right? Is that the
unlimited power, no longer allowed to go out and protest. Technically speaking, going out in front of the government building is now technically, as a technicality, illegal.
Well, I know friends that have been arrested out in front of the government building. One guy I know of that gives out jury nullification literature, which should be legal, was actually arrested there. Another lady was given a summons for handing out something else, just leaflets or something like that.
Yeah. What? That's just scaring me because as a constitutionalist, I do believe you have the right to go out and peacefully protest, and this is generally more restricting that.
I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, sorry if that's. I just wanted to hear. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the crazy ones thinking, "Hey, these people are trying to take away our constitutional rights."
I don't think so. I don't think so. But we live in a brave new world now.